Everybody loves your adorable puppy, but do they like him at the bar? We'll find out.
We just celebrated Cinco de Mayo again. Everybody loves Cinco de Mayo. So today we're going to talk about the great Mexicano, Mexican beers.
From Broken Goblet Brewery in Ben Salem with Ricky Ricardo, I'm Glen Macnow for a new episode of What's Brewing.
What's Brewing is brought to you in part by Monco Maker's Passport. Download your free digital pass and sip your way through Montgomery County. By the Conshohocken Brewing Company, featuring 4 locations and available at beer retailers throughout the tri-state area. By Visit Bucks County. Travel the Bucks County Ale Trail. Get your passport at visitbuckscounty.com. And by support from the Pennsylvania Malt and Brewed Beverage Industry Promotion Board and grant funding from the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board.
Hey, welcome to What's Brewing, along with my pal Ricky Ricardo, who you will hear on WIP. He's the Spanish language voice of the Philadelphia Eagles and the Yankees, that stuff you hear on Odyssey. I'm Glen Macnow. We're here at the Broken Goblet Brewery in Ben Salem, one of the Bucks County Ale Trail. Now, the Ale Trail is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to things to do around here. Plan out your next trip to visitbuckscounty.com. What are you drinking from Broken Goblet here?
Color Mixer. It's right up my alley.
Nice, and I know you like the ones that are kind of crisp and low ABV, which is going to play well into what we're doing today. I am a fan of the hazies. Everybody knows that. This Hazy Like Sunday Morning, which is a pineapple flavored IPA. I love this beer. I may tell you, I don't know if they have this one in cans. If they do, this one's coming home with me. But today we are featuring Mexican beers, which is a distinct style, Mexican lagers, and you've got the Modelo here, right?
Yes.
Okay, you've already poured for us. Let me have one of those.
You have some Modelo Especial. And we also have the Modelo Negro, but that is the Especial.
So this is one of the biggest selling beers in the United States. I have the number here. I think it's the 5th biggest selling beer in the United States. I like it in that it's easy to drink. What do you
It reminds people of their vacation in Puerto Vallarta or in Cancun. It just brings back good memories of good times. It's delicious.
I think that's right. Okay, I had it wrong. Corona, which I have here, is the 5th biggest selling beer in the United States, this Mexican beer. The Modelo Especial is the number 7 selling beer in the United States. And this Dos Equis is the number 20 selling beer in the United States. Dos Equis owned by Heineken, not exactly so Mexican anymore, but nonetheless, it speaks to the popularity of Mexican beers. Now, I got one for you that I really like. This is the Pacifico Clara. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I took Spanish in high school, but I got
Clara, making it a lighter type of beer.
I took 2 years of Spanish, Rick. I got a B-, so it was not my best course. Anyway, here's the story with this. This is a Pilsner style lager, right? Crisp, refreshing. Let's give it a taste. Very similar, right?
Very close.
Not a lot of aftertaste, not a lot of bite, but it's just like the expression is a lawnmower beer, which is what I think of. It's a hot summer day, I mow the lawn, I'm thirsty, I come in, there you go.
Mexican beach,
there you go, or a shower beer, which is not, you ever have a shower beer?
A shower beer?
Yeah,
No.
you take a shower, you
Nor
drink a
have I
beer
had
in
a
the
beer in
shower.
the shower.
That's what it is. Anyway, that's what this is to me. It is, they say, crisp, refreshing flavor, touch of grass, citrus, ocean mist right in it. Here's the story of this beer, which I kind of like. In the 1970s, a group of California surfers were looking for the best place to surf down in Mexico. So they ventured south in their van for the breaks along the coast and found themselves in Baja, where they discovered some great surf spots, and ended up in
Mazatlan.
There you go, where they discovered this beer, started bringing it home, not legally, but whatever. It became a cult beer among surfers and eventually found its way to the United States. And I like it a lot. I think it's a fine. It's a fine.
I enjoy it. It is delicious. It's great for a party, and it has a very, very crisp taste.
So interestingly, Mexican beer is the fastest growing sector among imported beers in the United States. The last 5 years, Mexican beer sales are up 79% in the United States. The next highest or fastest increasing is Irish, which is up 10%.
I think it reminds people a lot of maybe that trip to Cancun or the surfing. Plus, the Mexico-U.S. relationship has gotten very, very close. Obviously, the last few years, people go down, have a great time, and beer is just, it's really been a big product of export for Mexico for the rest of the world.
Yeah, it is. And of course, there's a growing Latin population in this country, and you say the biggest part of that is Mexican.
For every of all Hispanics, all Latinos, for every non-Mexican, there are 16 Mexicans. So they are in the 90-plus range, percentage-wise, of all Latinos in the United States. Viva Mexico!
Viva Mexico! I want to read you this real quick from Joe Sixpack on why this Vienna-style lager is so popular in Mexico. It came to Mexico under the reign of Maximilian I, a Vienna-born member of the House of Habsburg, who was proclaimed Emperor of Mexico in 1864. He and his band of beer drinkers brought this from Vienna. Maximilian did not last long as emperor. He was executed in 1867.
Not voted out, no. Executed.
But the beer lasted, and it's the popular flavor. All right, real quick, we got about a minute to go, and I love this story. I like to ask people the story of their first beer.
Oh.
Where was yours?
My first beer, ladies and gentlemen, came at Veteran Stadium. I kid you not. Now, it was a different day, let's just say that. But my uncle, who worked for AT&T, we had a bus trip, the factory bus trip, to see the Phillies and the San Francisco Giants on a Saturday night. We sat in the upper deck. Mike Schmidt was a rookie that night. My uncle, who was a big beer drinker, here comes the vendor, Schmidt's beer. He orders 2, drinks 1.5, and hands me the other half. I can't be more than 10, 11 years old. But I'm upstairs with the hardcore Phillies fans, and I'm drinking a Schmidt's beer. The first time beer's ever touched my lips, and here's Mike Schmidt.
Yeah, how did he do?
Striking out 4 times that night against a quality left-hander for the San Francisco Giants named Mike McCormick.
Oh, there you go.
That's my first set of aces.
Great story. Mike Schmidt may not remember the night, but you do.
I do.
All right, coming up, we're going to talk about taking your dogs to bars and breweries. Do people like it? Do you like it? Find out. We are here at Broken Goblet Brewery in Ben Salem with Ricky Ricardo. I'm Glen Macnow for What's Brewing. Hey, it's Glen Macnow here with Andrew Colligan, genius and chief bottle washer at the Conshohocken Brewing Company, here to show us what's hot for 2023.
Our lead dog, Type A IPA, citrus and grapefruit, 7% West Coast IPA.
Love this one. It's coming home with me. What's next?
Life Coach, our hazy IPA, our fastest growing brand, juicy and citrusy, perfect for any hazy IPA.
And very crushable. Keep going.
Ring the Bell, our American lager, crisp, clean, easy drinking, tastes especially good down the gate.
No better way to celebrate a win. And
Backpack beer, our Belgian-style wheat, light, refreshing, and approachable. Throw a couple backpacks in your backpack.
I'm gonna go take a hike. Finally,
Publish Row, our classic ESB, proud to make maybe one of the best English ales in the country. Philly loves an underdog. Support your local brewery and watering hole.
it's a beautiful sentiment. All these available at Conshohocken Brewing locations or wherever great beer is sold. Hey, welcome back to What's Brewing. He's Ricky Ricardo. I'm Glen Macnow. We are at Broken Goblet Brewing here in Ben Salem. Hey, did you know the Bucks County Ale Trail has a free mobile passport? Check in digitally at 5 or more breweries. Get a free Bucks County Ale Trail t-shirt. All right, Rick.
Yes.
I am drinking Schwarzbier Doom Lager. I'm a little nervous about that. What about you?
I'm drinking Eisenbrew XXX, made right here in collaboration with a record label called Napalm Records and their 30th anniversary. Let us give it a try.
All good stuff. So, they have a deck here at Broken Goblet, and you can bring your pup out to the deck, which is very nice. And I think that's really what I want to talk about, because everybody loves dogs, right?
Absolutely.
Well, almost everybody loves dogs. And You see more and more when you go to places, people will bring their pups. We did a survey last year here on What's Brewing, what was the best place to bring your dog, excuse me. Actually, I was really proud that one of the places I'm involved with, Conshohocken Brewing Company, won. We love dogs on the deck. Here's Lola on the deck the other day. She's a cutie. Okay, but there are rules. New FDA guidelines and most local laws say dogs are allowed outside, not inside, and that's the rule here at Broken Goblet, unless it's a service animal, which is different. Hey, speaking of service animals.
I've got 2 at my house.
Yeah, what's that story?
Well, my son's girlfriend, hopefully someday my daughter-in-law, she goes to UCF and she trains service dogs. So we have Axel, who is now coming on 2 years.
Yeah.
And we've got Filbert, which we call Philly, who is only 90 days old.
Cutie pup. Oh, he's adorable. Yeah. Very nice. Okay. So
both like beer.
We asked our viewers to respond on social media how they feel about it. Let's read a couple of you. You go first.
Yeah, Thomas Brett says, I bring my bells to Hazy's Bar early on Sunday when it's not too crowded. We never stay more than an hour tops. Bob the cook always keeps milk bones for her. So.
Oh, that's nice. All right. Meg Cranny says, Wissahickon Brewery's the best. Giant indoor-outdoor space, all dog-friendly. They don't serve food. They bring in food trucks, which is why they allow dogs inside. Always packed with pups. And they got their new puppy here. Why don't you do that guy Mike there?
Mike Solikowski here. I think the etiquette is simple. Is your dog well-behaved? Welcome. If your dog struggles to socialize or is aggressive with other dogs, then keep your pup at home.
I'm going to move down a little bit toward the bottom. T-Nuts says, I've had dogs my whole life. I love everyone I ever had. They're members of the family. That said, no one loves your dog as much as you do, which is true. People love to bring dogs everywhere like they're doing society a favor, and most times they're in the way.
Interesting.
Why don't you give me Mark S. down there?
Mark S. As long as they're not driving, I don't have a problem with it.
Right, and then that's good. And then the Midnight Lurker says, leave your stupid mutt at home. And while we're at it, leave your snot-nosed kids. The point being, some people come to get away from that.
It's a mixed bag.
These are kind of do's and don'ts. Don't come after 8 p.m. on Friday or Saturday because it's going to be more crowded.
Right.
Don't bring your dog to a fancier bar.
Okay.
Okay. The dog will let you know when it's time to go home.
I believe that.
Be ready to go at a moment's notice, and be absolutely certain your dog is good with other dogs. Anyway,
I think that's the cardinal rule.
You got cute puppies, and this was a very nice opportunity for us to show lots of nice pictures of adorable dogs, and for that reason, I enjoyed it. Hey, Sam Stafford is out at Broad Street Brewing, a place that's going to be opening very soon. Let's get the report from Sam.
Hey Glenn, today we are in Bristol, PA to check out Broad Street Brewing Company, and I am here with one of the head brewers, Andrew Balmer. You guys are getting ready to open, Andrew, so correct. Can you tell us about when or what to expect when you guys open?
Sure, so we're hoping for a July 4th opening, looking for a different range of styles of beers, anything from American light lagers to some heavy IPAs. Once the summer comes through, we're going to look to add some more darker stuff like Imperial Stout, maybe Schwartz beer, some black lager, you know, something for everybody. Some fruity stuff, some sweet stuff, a little bit of everything.
I love it. And then you guys, what are your backgrounds? I already said you're head brewer, but obviously you didn't just start now.
Correct. So yeah, I got my start about 6 or 7 years ago over at Third State across the bridge in New Jersey. Small brewery, 7-barrel system, and after that I moved over to Kane's, shift brewer over there for about 2 years, and then I started working at Flying Fish and made the jump over to PA, and now I'm head brewer over here.
Awesome, so more than qualified, and a lot of people, especially watching this show, very familiar with Broad Street, very sporty theme. How can that play in? Are you guys going to have any fun names or?
Yeah, so I don't know if they want me to release any names just yet.
It's coming.
Yeah, correct. So yeah, I think we're gonna have a big Philly play into the beer names. Yes.
And you guys won't have just beer. This event area is awesome, but you're also gonna have some food trucks and things like that.
Yep. Yeah, food trucks. Gonna have cocktails, wine, you know, all that good stuff. There's strip mall we're located in, and it's a deli over here. We're also going to have rotating food trucks. The current owners, they have actually a beef farm in North PA, so we're going to have some, you know, farmers market kind of craft meat stuff floating around too. So a little bit of everything.
Awesome. Now, you guys are just going to open in a couple months. You guys are shooting for that July 4th opening date?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And if anybody wants to stay up to date with you, where can they find you guys at?
You can follow us at broadstreetbrewing.com, and you can connect to the socials like that. And we have Instagram and Facebook.
Awesome. So Glenn, everybody at home, make sure that you're following them on social media to stay up to date. You won't want to miss it. It looks awesome in here already.
Sam, that looks like a terrific place. Can't wait to check it out. Hey, when we come back, we'll check in with our pal Joe Sixpack in France. With Ricky Ricardo, I'm Glen Macnow. Broken Goblet Brewing. Enjoying some fine beers on What's Brewing. Hey, welcome back to What's Brewing. I'm Glen Macnow, and now we fly across the Atlantic, check in France with Joe Sixpack, and today it is Ask Joe Sixpack Day. Are you ready, oh wise one?
As ready as I'll ever be.
All right, question number one comes from Kevin Kelly, and he asks, is it only me? I frequent breweries here in New Jersey. It seems to me the same beers taste slightly different during my visits. Is it my palate that fluctuates, or is it the beer? Good question.
It is a very good question, and I got to say that both things can happen. The beer can fluctuate, the flavor of the beer can fluctuate, and also your palate can fluctuate. Beer, especially from those from small breweries, especially that when they're not pasteurizing their beer, the beer can be inconsistent. It can taste different in different batches, and that's because consistency is one of the hardest parts to control in brewing. There's so many variables, the ingredients, the brewing processes, even the water itself can be different. So it is a tough thing to deal with. But let me say, your palate can definitely fluctuate too. And I have had a recent experience with this.
Well, there you go. And
I don't know, does it happen to you, Glenn?
It has absolutely happened to me, and I think sometimes brewers will slightly adjust their recipe as they move along, so beers can evolve. So it's not just,
sure.
I mean, sometimes it's deliberate, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So hang in there and keep enjoying the beer there, Kevin. All right, Greg in media. I love this question. What does dry hopped and double dry hopped mean? Sounds dirty to me.
I guess it depends on where you're coming from. But all right, so we'll get a little wonky here, okay? Dry hopped is, well, first we have to talk about how hops were used originally, which was during the boil. They were boiled along with the rest of the ingredients to extract the bitterness from it. Dry hopping was developed a long time ago to extract not the bitterness, but the flavor and the aroma of the hops. And the British were famous for this. And then the Americans got a hold of it. And as all things in American, we decided that if a single dry hopping exposure was good, twice has got to be even better. And so double dry hopping was developed, and they would do the dry hopping procedure either twice or add just double the amount of hops to that process.
I'm reluctant to ask you what wet hop means because that sounds really dirty.
Wet hopping is different, but we won't go into the details there.
This is a family show. We'll leave that.
Exactly.
That'll be the after midnight show, the after hours show. All right, here you go. Next question. This is from Phoenixville Pool Hustler. Don't want to meet him. I watch you guys regularly. I see all the varied beers that you try. I'm ready to expand my taste beyond lagers / pilsners and IPAs to something more interesting and perhaps a bit challenging. Give me a roadmap. Thanks.
Quickly, my advice is to try new beers or different beers from the breweries that you already like, because it's likely that they're going to make beers that are in your wheelhouse. The second is, whenever you go to a brewery, order a flight of beers, because you're going to get a variety of beers. Order beers in that flight that you don't necessarily ever drink, but give it a shot. And thirdly, these days everybody's so fixated on hops. Look for beers that are trying to promote something other than hops as a flavor. Try a beer that's focused on the malt, like a double bock or a stout or a wheat beer. So that's a good starter for you.
To your point, or actually to your points, one of the reasons that it's great to order a flight is it's 4 ounces. It's not that big a commitment. If you don't like it, you don't have to stare at a pint and think, what am I going to do with this?
Right.
And you're right, that you and I have tried so many things. I have discovered I love ESBs. I love the British malt ales. I didn't really have much exposure to that before. I love brown ales. Things, that I maybe didn't have that much opportunity. It is great to learn it, and it is a lot of fun. So, and this is a lot of fun, and it's always nice to see you, and I hope things are going well with you over there. So you take care until I see you next week. We'll be back with more from Broken Goblet Brewery next on What's Brewing.
So we went to this place called Bucks County for vacation. There was so much to do. We played games, rode on a train, and visited Kids Castle. I went on rides, water slides, and got to hang with Elmo at Sesame Place. We hiked to this huge boulder field called Ringing Rocks. Oh, and I got to meet a pilot. That was so cool. You gotta go.
Hey, welcome back to What's Brewing at Broken Goblet Brewing. I'm Glen Macnow, along with my pal Ricky Ricardo, joined by Mike Lacouture, who runs this phenomenal place. Hey, don't forget this spot is one of many on the Bucks County Ale Trail. See what other great locations are available on their free digital passport. All right, Mike, tell us what is Rick drinking? What am I drinking? What are you drinking?
Rick, you're drinking Lucky Cat 13, which is one of the breweries that we're in a co-op with, Lucky Cat Brewing, and that is kind of like a cream ale.
Very nice.
So it's a very simple, very easy to drink, kind of a style that comes and goes in popularity.
I like listen, I've always loved a cream ale. Rick's a big cream ale fan back to his days with Rick James drinking Jenny Cream.
That's right.
Anyway, I got another hazy, and I see that you're canning, which is nice to see. Last time we were here, I don't think you were canning.
The only thing we were canning at the time was the beer with Jason Kelsey, but now we've gone kind of full.
This is nice hazy.
Thank you. Yeah, it's real. That's out in the marketplace right now alongside this, which is a West Coast IPA, and Harmonic Overtones, color mixer, this one, all out in the marketplace in the last month or so. We hired a sales rep. We began, thank you, we began distribution in full force, and we're trying to now kind of capitalize on some of the good brand recognition we have here out in the marketplace.
All right, so you mentioned to Rick that this is one that you're doing with another brewery. You've kind of formed a co-op with some other very respected local breweries. Who are you with? What's this about?
Yeah, it's probably too long to tell in a short segment, but we've joined forces with Scotes, who, if you know the name.
Mike Scotes, Gray Lodge Pub is a great, legendary Philly bar, just closed during the pandemic.
It did, and he's kind of Mount Rushmore for craft beer
Absolutely.
in Philadelphia and the suburbs. So Scotes and his partner Jay Macias were looking to find a spot to kind of gypsy brew Lucky Cat, and at the same time, Jeremy Myers, who is the founder and owner of Trauger. Trauger Brewing is a German-only brewery, so German beer only. They sort of joined forces, and they were going to open up in Jenkintown, actually. Stuff happens, and so they were looking for a location. And at the time, we had an expansion next door we had a space that we were taking next door because the economics were right, and it was like just a perfect storm of having all of us join together to take over that space and then share economies of scale.
So here's what I'm hearing, okay? Because we have seen in the industry in the last 10 years, I don't want to get too inside baseball here, some of the mid-sized to larger breweries combine forces.
Correct.
Okay.
Artisanal ales on the East Coast.
Yeah, big
Anarchy on the West Coast.
Yes. Yeah. You're not as big, but in a smaller sense, you're doing the same thing.
Same exact thing. We're trying to
survive and thrive.
Well, yeah, and trying to diversify, because there are so many breweries that you have to sort of figure out what you're going to do to make yourself different, but you also need to figure out ways to share economies of scale, because everything costs more money.
Yep.
The can, all the raw materials cost more. Every piece of the beer from start to finish, all the way down to the electricity and the gas, costs more than it did. So,
and here you've got a great spot of live entertainment. What do you got here? What's going on?
we do. We actually have David Bowie's stage. This is a remnant from Philly, and we have bands.
Wait, say that again?
This is the crowd can't see that's watching, but behind you all
we'll show a picture
is
of it.
David Bowie's stage that was on the Glass Spiders tour, and then made its way to the Electric Factory in Philadelphia. And when they were getting rid of the stage, we were lucky enough to have some friends in industry who got us a stage. So we have a piece of history, and we do bands here basically Thursday through Saturday, some other nights as well. And we're starting to do some really big shows, and opening next door really helps, because now we can do ticketed events here and then still have the general brewery goer go next door and not feel like they were being forced to watch a band or pay money to do so.
So we did a feature earlier on about bringing your dog to the bar, and you got rule. You invite, but you got rules.
We do. That's the two most polarizing comments in all of brewing.
Wait, what is
kids,
the other one?
Kids and dogs.
Yeah. How do you feel about kids at bars?
Keep the kids at home.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm working with Joe Sixpack again.
Look, what I think the general public doesn't understand is that there are rules. There's insurance rules and there's kitchen rules. Mm-hmm. And if your brewery does not have any sort of kitchen, it has no oversight from Department of Health, then I guess you're allowed, we don't really know because we never had that, you're allowed to bring dogs inside. Our space is not conducive to little people or little dogs running around. So we welcome pets out on the patio. We love dogs. I would say beyond Connor Barwin's charity and the ALS Foundation, we've not given more money to anybody else than pet adoption charity. So we love pets here, but we just can't have them inside. And if you can imagine, 400 people in this room, there's a concert going on, and somebody has a dog that's barking or whatever, it just doesn't work with what we're doing.
Outside.
Perfect. We have bowls for them, we accommodate them, we'll get them shade, we'll do whatever we can. We love the pups. We just can't have them in here. And we have a kitchen nook, so we really can't have them in here.
Okay, let's close with this. Tell people how to find you when the weather doesn't knock down the streets. We all, by the way, in a flood, drove around, but we made it. When you're open, how to find you, all those good details.
Yeah, we're 20 minutes north of Philly, right down 95. We're in an area where we have plenty of free parking, so that's why we do so many shows here. Otherwise, out in the wild, you can start to find us in a lot of packaged goods spots, your beer stores and bars in the Bucks County area especially. We have a couple more that are coming out, but we're really excited for what the future holds.
You should can that pineapple hazy IPA.
Here's to the David Bowie stage.
Yeah. Hey, Ricky Ricardo, thanks so much for being my guest today. Love having you. Mike,
anytime.
Cheers to both.
Thanks for having us here.
We
love it. And we will see you all next week on What's Brewing.
What's Brewing is brought to you in part by Monco Maker's Passport. Download your free digital pass and sip your way through Montgomery County. By the Conshohocken Brewing Company, featuring 4 locations and available at beer retailers throughout the tri-state area. By Visit Bucks County. Travel the Bucks County Ale Trail. Get your passport at visitbuckscounty.com. And by support from the Pennsylvania Malt and Brewed Beverage Industry Promotion Board and grant funding from the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board.